right, today I'm excited to be sharing with you the reset for my 2025 planner. I have several new inserts and a couple inserts that I actually have created myself. If you've been watching some of my other planner videos, you know that I have been using the 12-week year as my planning, I guess, like the theory or the structure of the planning. And my actual planner that I've been using is a sort of ever evolving attempt to try to manage that system in a way that I can carry with me all the time and just sort of have at my fingertips. So a few things are going to be changing in this today. And actually, I think I may be even going to be changing out of my Louis Vuitton GM agenda into something else. So I have 3 other covers here that I'm gonna share with you and kind of make some decisions on for January. I'm still feeling really good about using my GM agenda, so I guess I'm not entirely sure, but I also sort of just feel like doing maybe something a little bit different for the new year. So we'll get to that in a second. But first off, I'm gonna go ahead and open this guy up and just kind of start taking some things out and apart, because I'm going to be making some decisions about what is going to stay in the new planner setup and what's going to be leaving. So let's go ahead and take these out. Now, like I said, if you've watched my other ones, you know that for my main like monthly planner, weekly planner, I am still using the life planner from Erin Condren in their bold blooms. When I bought this, I bought it in June of 24, and I bought the 18-month version of it. So those pages are going to be good for me through the whole end of 2025. And as of right now, I plan on sticking with those. I still enjoy them. I love that paper. It's just really great quality paper. And yeah, I'm just going to kind of section this off, and then we'll start to just put it all back together in the new planner, and I'll share some of the new inserts that I have purchased. I bought a few things from 8LOTUS, and then a new to me planner company, The Line. I bought one insert from them. So I don't think I have anything else here tucked away. No, we're good. So I'm actually going to set him aside. He might go back on my shelf for another time, and I'm going to share with you some of the other 3 options I've been considering moving into for January. So first up, I have this cover that I have used several times in the past, and I always feel like this one, I feel like I tend to use it a lot in December's or January's, and it just has that kind of New Year's vibe to me. I think the white with the gold just seems kind of celebratory, and so this is the first option that I might be moving into for January. Next up is a Kikki.K, and the white and gold dot one is also Kikki.K. And then the next up we have another Kikki.K option, and this is actually just a really sort of soft baby blue. It's quilted, and you can see when I open this one up that I have never used this one. It still has the original inserts that come with the Kikki.K planners, or at least they used to. I haven't bought a new one off their site in a long time. I'm not sure they ship to the US anymore, so that's probably the biggest reason why. And this one is, I'm going to tell you, this one's really calling to me right now. One, because I've never used it. It's so soft. It's really pretty. It feels like it's a very January color to me. And I'm just feeling a lot of vibes off of this one right now. So this one is a pretty hot contender for me to move into. So we might be moving into this one. And the last choice I pulled to consider is also a Kikki.K planner that I've had and never used. And you can tell because this one also has all the original inserts that came with it inside. And so this one's really beautiful. This is from their Life is Wonderful collection. It's a really pretty planner too, obviously, and feels really nice. But I have been wanting to get into this one. I keep looking at it on my shelf and going, is it time? Is it time? And I just haven't ever really sort of felt it. But now that I'm sitting here thinking about it, and I really didn't have any idea when I sat down, but as I'm just kind of talking through this with y'all, I think I might actually want to use this one for February. I think this little red heart on it is just too cute. And this is probably giving me more February feeling with Valentine's Day. Also, my birthday is that month. So I think I'm going to hang off on this one, as much as I was thinking this might be what I was going to choose. I think I'm feeling this soft blue and just the padding on it. It's giving me definitely 2025 January feeling. So this is going to be what we're moving into. So let me go ahead and take out all these inserts. Now you should know I never throw any of this stuff away. I have several boxes filled with blank insert planners because these are all undated. So I have several boxes filled with blank planner inserts that have come with many of these A5 agendas that I've ordered over the years. And I always seem to be able to find a way to use the paper. Of course, just like the line notebook or the grid paper, whatever, that's just great for having, extra note paper in your planner or whatever. But I don't ever get rid of it. I keep it, and I seem to eventually find a use for it. Sometimes I'll even just print, if I make an insert myself, design something on Canva. These are already the perfect size. They're A5 size and already punched with a hole. And so I'll just print directly onto some of these pages sometimes as well. So that works out great. I'm going to go ahead and take this notes page out the back. I might put that back in and use it, but we're just going to start completely fresh, nothing in this, and start building my planner back up. So I think the easiest place to sort of start is just by, putting in the front part of my planner that I had in here before. This tab divider right here is for my 12-week section. And so I just have a couple, sticky note pads stuck to the front of that. So that comes in really handy. I'm gonna keep that the same. I'm gonna hold off on putting any of these vellum inserts back in for right now. I'm just gonna kind of put those off to the side. With the exception of this one. This one I think I'm going to keep attached here, because if you watched my last planning video, this was that spread that I made where I wanted to be able to sort of look at my entire year of 2025 at a glance, with regards to being able down here have sort of a list of projects for the whole year, and then those projects broken into quarters, and then each of those broken into the months. I didn't fill it out. I hadn't filled it out yet because I was wanting to spend some time thinking about what projects I wanted to tackle, how many projects I wanted to tackle for 2025, and also, what were my sort of goals for the year? What were those going to look like? And so I made some decisions, and now we're going to get into the first sort of part of this planner that's going to be new. And these are inserts that I created myself. Now, if you've been watching, I have been struggling trying to figure out a way to better track what projects I'm tackling during my 12-week year segments, and then how am I going to sort of keep myself accountable to those things. And so these are the, I think I shared these in my last video, and so I'm not going to spend too much time on them now, but these are the inserts that I created myself in Canva, kind of customized them to be what I needed. And these are going to go under my 12-week section. And so this is just a blank one, but these are the ones I actually sat down and filled out, and I have one page for each of my sort of main goal areas. And so I've got my writing. And so this is going to be what am I going to be working on with regards to my writing for this first 12 weeks. And just so you know, today is January 1st. Happy New Year, by the way. I hope it's going to be a great one for you. I plan on it being an amazing one for me. But I'm not actually starting my first 12-week section. I need to come up with a better way to sort of say that. My first 12-week period, I guess. I'm not going to start that this week. I'm actually starting it next week. This is we're coming off the holidays. We had New Year's Eve last night. Today's New Year's Day. I'm going to actually start it next week. And as of right now, I plan on hitting the ground running with working on these things. So my first one is for writing, and I've kind of spelled out in there the project I'm going to be working on, which is my 11th book. I'm going to begin drafting that for this next 12-week period. So those are it's got my project laid out there. And then also I'm going to be tracking my word count, my execution, how much am I getting actually accomplished on that every week. And that's all going to be tracked in these pages. This next one is my marketing page. This is business and admin projects and tasks that I want to handle in these next 12 weeks. This is finances, house and family. And I'm pretty sure I kind of went through and filled out everything that I want on these for the next 12 weeks. I just sort of sat down the other night on the couch. Rod and I were watching some show that didn't require too much attention. And so I just kind of sat down and wrote out my goals, my why I was pursuing that goal, and the projects and tasks I thought I would need to do. This is personal health. This is travel. And then I'm just going to keep a couple of these unfilled out blank ones back here. And just so they're handy, and in case, I don't know, something weird happens and I need to rewrite one of these pages or completely change my mind about something. So that is those. And I'm really kind of excited to see how this is going to work out for me, because that is an area I have just sort of struggled with, being able to really at my fingertips know, okay, what am I working on? That wasn't actually such a big deal, but it was more the tracking, the accountability, the weekly sort of review, because in the 12-week year program, you're supposed to do what they call WAMs, weekly accountability meetings. Now you're supposed to do that with other people, but I was just planning on sort of doing it myself and using these pages at the end of every week, whether that's, Friday or Saturday, and scoring myself on these are the tasks that I have pulled from these pages to work on for this week, and then giving myself a percentage score with regards to, did I accomplish them? Did I execute on them? And so I think if I remember correctly from the book, they basically sort of said you want your weekly accountability score to be sort of 85% or higher in order to continue to make sure that you're, really working towards your goals for that period. So anyway, we're going to give that a go. I will let you know how it is working out. And at the beginning of February, when I switch over to the new planner, I'll share these pages with you, and you'll be able to see what are my scores looking like. Am I actually executing on the goals and tasks that I have set for myself, and are these pages working? So the next divider I have in here is just a projects page. And, just all of these little dividers I got from Cloth and Paper quite a while ago. They're a bit old, and they're probably need to be wiped down with a alcohol wipe or something. And I just labeled them all myself with my label maker, but this is projects. And so what I use this for, now before I sat down to film this, I was looking and looking and looking to see if I could find any more of these project pages that I actually got. These are from Erin Condren, and I like these pages a lot, and I would have swore that I had a whole package of them somewhere, but I cannot find them. So these are my old pages for the last, actually, I think I've had these in here for several 12-week rounds, because I wasn't executing on everything that I had set out for myself. But these are going to be put by the wayside because a lot of this stuff has been accomplished, and some things are going to be carried over to this new period. I'm just going to put a couple of these blank notebook pages back here right now, and then I'm going to look and see if I can find any more of those project pages. And if not, I'm either going to order more or probably just resource some of the all those extra planning pages I have from my agendas that I haven't used, try to repurpose some of those to actually serve that. And what I use those for is that I can kind of break down in a way that these tracking pages won't do, a little bit more specifically what I'm going to, it's like basically taking those projects and breaking those tasks down a little bit further so that I can get more granular. So those are just kind of a little bit more granular. So my next divider here I have, and this is tasks. And what I am putting in here, I had before another vellum, but like I said, I'm not going to add any of these back in right now. I'm not exactly sure what I want to put in there. And what I had under this section was basically my habit tracker. And then I did have these pages. I think if you've been here, I had tried this as a tracking device, for my projects and tasks in the past. And there was too much happening in this page. These didn't end up being helpful, which is what caused me to try to create the other one. Now, I think I have talked to you before. This is sort of my last 3 months of habit tracking. And it's not actually, some things I've been really great, but really my biggest problem is not necessarily doing or not doing these things. It's a little bit that. A lot of it is always just filling out the habit tracker every day. But I don't really want to give this up just yet. I don't want to say this isn't working for me. I want to give it another go and just see if I can just make my habit tracking more of a habit. I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but and so this brings me, those were ones I had created myself, but this is going to bring me to some of the new inserts I just ordered. So let me see, I have just a huge mess going on here as I'm rebuilding this, but that's how it goes. I'm going to move that to the side and I'm going to share with you, this is some of the inserts that I just purchased from 8LOTUS. So this is not really an unboxing because I have actually already opened this and taken a peek, but I'll share with you. These are all going to be going into my new 2025 setup, and I'll share with you what I ordered. So the first insert I'm going to share with you is I actually, instead of just making my own habit trackers, continuing to do that, I just decided to go ahead and order some. And so these are from 8LOTUS. And because I'm doing 12 weeks of planning right now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm just actually going to put 2 of these in right now because these are nice because they're front and back. So I will do one side for January, one side for February, and one of these sides will be for March. So we'll go ahead and put those in there under my tasks tab, and I'm going to go through and fill out what habits I want to be continuing, which ones I want to track, I want to build on from there. So brand new habit trackers from 8LOTUS. The next divider that I have in here is my reference section. And so I like to keep this in my planner. And so what I have on here are notes from different books that I have read with regards to it's usually nonfiction books that I've read. So I have notes in here about the 12-week year. I have notes in here on the one thing, the big leap. I'll just sort of notes. And so I like to keep them handy in here because a lot of times if I'm thinking about my planning or I'm thinking about setting goals, that sort of thing, I like to be able to sort of just reference and then take notes on these A5 size notepads and keep it here so it's readily accessible. I always know where those notes are, because they have been really valuable to me when it comes to wrapping my head around, like, what do I want? Why do I want it? And then what are some plans and goals and things like that we're going to put in place in order towards moving towards achieving those. So I like to keep a little reference section in there. Now, next we have we starting in on my side dividers. Now, these side dividers are also from Cloth and Paper, and these were originally, I have 12 of them, and they were just the months, like January through December. And I used them for a little while to kind of course, mark the different months. But then once I switched over to using the Erin Condren planner, those come with the months that have the side tabs on them anyway. And so I repurposed these to have these, I just relabeled them. And so this one is writing. And what I'm going to be putting in here for right now, I'm not actually sure I'm going to use this for this purpose, but I bought this new insert. This is also from 8LOTUS, and this is their quarterly planning pages. So for each quarter, it's, it's got it broken down into each quarter, and then the months in those quarters. So you have like the whole year overview here, which I like. And then this is the individual months. So you could really sort of just quickly note what are your sort of key priorities for each of those months. Then these pages have your 2025 vision, so your top goals for Q1 through Q4. And then it gets into breaking it down for each month in the quarter. So I sort of envisioned these being used for books I want to write this year. And yes, I said that plural. Now, historically, I've only really written one book a year, but I really, really this year want to try to do more than that. And so I bought these to be a part of my main planner, where I'm going to, not obviously in depth or any, like a lot of notes, book notes or anything like this, but sort of give these broad sweeps about what are the books that I want to be working on and within which quarter and where are we with those. And so these are not going to be like, there's just not enough space there to really sort of do a lot with regards to planning the books, but I can definitely, what is the book? What are we working on? Where are we? What do we need to accomplish in order to get that done in a particular time frame? And so that's what those pages are going to be used for exclusively. The next section I have is my YouTube. Now, obviously, I've been trying to grow this channel, talking about my writing career, but then also, just books in general, how to write books, and then the planning that I do in order to support my writing career. And so this is going here. And what I had in here before, I'll kind of share with you. I had these, again, one of these project pages, and I had just kind of listed out like different title ideas that I had for YouTube. But then I also had back in here a little bit of scripting, or if I had learned anything about creating YouTube videos. I'm always, trying to learn about how to do videos better, or, just any video ideas, that type of thing. So I'm going to take this out because I'm not going to be using those overall goal planning pages for that anymore. This was basically a script I had, or just kind of an outline I had written for one of the videos I did in the past, but I don't want to get rid of these two pages. And the reason why is I have notes in here, which actually could also be like kind of in a reference page, but notes in here on a video that I had watched of Ali Abdaal, and he was sort of giving tips and hints on how to write or how to sort of structure YouTube videos. Now, obviously not something like this, because this is just a sit down and we're going to meander and talk for ages about putting a planner together. This is probably a very long video. But if I'm doing like a more of an an informational video about like how to write a book or different elements in writing a book or something like that. Probably people don't want to sit and listen to me ramble on for 60 minutes about that. And I want it to be concise. And so this is just kind of an outline framework that I took notes on his video to sort of help me get better at making those videos better. And so I want to keep this in here because I actually reference this all the time. And it's on the back of something else. And so I really maybe want to recreate this on a different page, but I'm not going to do that right now. It does bring me to a new insert that I want to add. And so now I looked for something very specific and I couldn't find it anywhere. I was watching a video from another planner and she had just ordered, she had kind of a big order from this. I've never ordered from them before. It's called The Line. And I had already put in my Infinite Lotus order, so I maybe would have gotten more things. But what they did have, and I was really excited about it, are these YouTube-specific inserts. So let me go ahead and open this up. So you can see here. This is it's just specifically for YouTube. It's got video title, live date, location. You can mark here what type of video it is, the concept, what are your talking points, what are any B-roll shot lists that you might want to get. And this is something I really want to get better at, is just creating more or having more B-roll content in my videos in 2025. So, and then miscellaneous notes. Now on the back of this is an area where you can kind of maybe map out your script for each of those videos. And so this is The Line if you are interested in checking out the planner inserts that they have. I was really pleasantly surprised to see they had a YouTube specific one. So I'm actually going to put all of these in here because I have big plans for my YouTube videos, or I have big plans for my YouTube channel for 2025. I want to be producing a lot more content in the new year. So this guy's looking a little bit sad. So I'm going to take him out and I will replace him with a new tab because I like to be able to reference these pages quickly when I'm thinking about making my new videos. So next we have this divider, and this is for my blog. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't really use my blog right now for anything other than reposting things I have posted on YouTube. And really, actually, I think that's all that's been there for quite some time. And so I would really like this to be better. I would like to get back into actually writing blog posts, even though I know nobody really reads blog posts anymore. But I feel like it also is sort of a nice documentation of just my writing career as well, if I keep up with it, and when I have things that are released. And I do have several blog subscribers, and so sometimes that's the only way they hear about when I have a new release or something coming out. And so I would like to focus on growing this or being more consistent with my blog in the same way that I'm also focusing on being more consistent with my YouTube channel. So that's one of my priorities for 2025. And so these next pages here are actually, this was when I was brainstorming what my goal domains were going to be and what I wanted to focus on, what projects I wanted to focus on for 2025. I actually was thinking like the whole year, and then I was breaking it down into, okay, what do I want to handle for the next 12 weeks? So these are probably going to go back into my planner. I'm just not exactly sure where I want them to be just yet because I'm going to want to come back and reference these. So I'm going to put those over here with those vellums to be revisited. Okay, so this next section was for my newsletter. I'm going to leave this for right now because right now, again, my newsletter, I have been kind of hit or miss. Like for a while there, I was doing one every month, and then probably through, I think like September, October, maybe November. I'd have to go back and look. It sort of fell off. And then I did another one when I just released my newest book in ebook form, is The Last Nanny, and I did, a newsletter for that. But it's just something I want to be a lot more like the blog, more consistent with for 2025. It is part of my marketing plans that I put in here under the 12-week year. And so I think I want to find either just some lined notebook paper. Of course, I have tons of it from those old planners, and just put that in here with regards to being able to like scribble notes or remind myself what are some things I want to include in my newsletter for each month. And so I think that that would be a really good use of this. So yeah, actually that's what I had done for September. I just like had a sort of like list in there. I'll actually just put these back in here because there's no need to waste that paper. And then just for each month, I'll take out the September one, but for each month, I will just put the month heading and then just kind of keep a running list or notes to myself about elements that I want to make sure I'm letting my readers know about each month. And I think what I need to also do is actually go through and have a hard scheduled time for when my newsletter comes out, like just a little bit of pressure on myself to make sure I keep up with that. So deadlines can be very effective. So here we go. We have another one of these dividers, and this one I labeled month. And this is where we get into the Erin Condren actual planner pages. And so this is their bold blooms, still using, of course, you can see this started in July of 24. Is when I started using these planner inserts. It goes all the way through to December of 25. I don't know if I will buy 18-month planners again. Not that, there's nothing wrong with them other than that, sometimes you just kind of want to change stuff up, and you really are committing to them for 18 months. And I try not to waste any more planning supplies than I already do. So this was the month of December that I still had in there, just basically, what do I have broad view going on that month. And so this can go ahead and come out because we are now into January. So I think I'm going to go through and get the rest of the months for the year to put in here. And the reason why right now I just have through March, but the reason why I want all of those months in here is because I really use these month pages for when something is coming up later in the year and I don't want to forget it. So like I have a dentist appointment I think in January. When I go, they're going to be rescheduling my dentist appointment, the next one, and it's going to be 6 months down the line. And so I put that in under my monthly planner right away so that it's in there. I also put it in digitally so that I have it. But just that when I'm looking at like the month at a whole, I have like sort of any and all of those appointments that are going to be, conflicting or need my attention or whatever. And sometimes they are months and months out. And so I like to have all of those in there. So I'm actually going to go grab the rest of those. They're in my office. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back and I have the remaining 2025 Bold Blooms planner from Erin Condren. But look what I also found. I knew I had more of these project planning pages. I had put them I kept all of these planning pages in the peacock colored A5 ring binder that I bought it with from Erin Condren. And I had just slipped these project pages in there as well to kind of keep them together. So do you do that like frequently? I'm always putting things somewhere where I think I'm going to be able to hang on to them and not lose them. And then invariably I can't find where I put them. So now I'm not putting the weeks in here. All I'm putting in are the months, because the weeks would end up making this like even bulkier than it already is. And my planner is already pretty full. So but I just want all of the months in here so that when something comes up, I'm able to immediately get it into my plans. Got August. September. the other thing about buying these 18 months planners is that I'm always so excited when they come out because of course they're brand new and I'm like, oh yes, I love it, so pretty. And you know, you want to get, I suppose, or at least me, I want to get the biggest one. But then of course all the new stuff starts rolling out and I've already committed to something that's 18 months long. And so I think sometimes maybe you just want something new and you've, you know, fully committed yourself to something else and you want to be responsible. So these are all the leftover, these are the weekly pages. And so these I'm going to put back in that peacock colored Erin Condren A5 rings planner to save. And then I'm only going to keep the next 12 weeks basically in there. So I'll put those away. So I have all of the next 12 months, all of 2025 in here. Now this is the divider for my actual weeks section. So that goes next. And let's see, this is, I still have this December. I think this just goes through December of 24. So yep, these are done as well. But I did pull out the January, February, and March weekly pages. So all of those are going to go right here. Oh, and actually I accidentally got rid of the beginning of this week. There we go. It's the end of the other week. So there's those. This is the week we're in. And this I keep, this is an Erin Condren, just like a stencil, but I have this week on the top. This is so handy because honestly, like my planner will be closed and I open it up and I just feel for that here and I can pull, because this is definitely where I spend the most amount of my time is, you know, on my current weekly spread. So this is actually really handy. I move it every week. And then I can kind of just flip immediately there. Now this also brings me to a little insert that I actually have created to meet a need. And so when I was talking about in my 12-week planning pages, these pages about, you know, I've got my goals and my whys and then, you know, the tasks and things like that. And that's all well and good. And then down here, I have my execution, like how I'm going to score myself, the execution score. That's great. Except that I wanted something to be able to go in my, like the weeks section right there where I am, where each week I'm sitting down, I'm saying, okay, under all the different domains that I'm focusing on, what are the 3 or 4 different tasks, if anything, not all of these will have things I'm trying to get done that week, that I'm wanting to get done this week. And these are the things that are going to, that I'm going to basically score at the end of the week. Like, so if I'm saying in here, like for writing example, I need to write 7,500 words this week. I need to write, which is, 1,500 words a day for, 5 days. That is under here, under the writing section. And so based on how many words I actually wrote, that's where I'm going to pull that execution score from, the percentage. Like if I got 100% of the words, great. If I only got 85% of the words, that's where I'm going to calculate that. And it's the same thing for each of these other sections. I'm going to be listing out what are the specific tasks I want to handle that week. And then at the end of every week, that's where I'm going to be like, that's what I'm going to score. And I'm going to use that in those project pages I created. And so this is all just ways that I am trying to kind of marry a planning system that I'm, developing or kind of using with the 12-week year philosophy with regards to planning and tracking your execution score and things like that. So, always I'm just trying to make this as functional as possible and being able to meet my needs. And so I think what I'm going to do is I have my habit tracker here under my tasks section, but that's also where I want to keep these blank, because these are going to basically be weekly task lists. Those will go there. And then this is the task list that and I want it behind this thing actually, because it will flip better. This was, you can see I labeled it prep week, because this is not part of my new 12-week year yet. This was just, getting ready for the first 12-week period of 2025. And so this was my prep week task list. And so I don't actually have like a project page for, this is not going to count towards my project page, but I'm going to practice like scoring my task execution on this once I get to the end of this week. So, and today is Wednesday the 1st. So there's that. Now here's all my weekly pages, and that can go there. This guy is getting really full. He was pretty full already, but it's getting even more so. All right. So then we have my next section here, and this is kind of like my marketing tab. And how I've been using this, I have to print up some more of these, but I created these as well. And so it's just basically like a half calendar. It's the month on half a page. And then this is just kind of an overview of like, what events do I have coming up? What are the holidays that are coming up with regards to any sort of social media planning that I want to do. This is just very broad over scope. I also kind of mark on here when I do post something or, film something for YouTube or whatever. And it's not getting into the weeds. It's just like a quick glance that I can look at and sort of see what's going on. So I'm just going to keep, this is my December page. I'm going to keep it in there. I haven't printed up any new pages yet for January, February, March, but I'll just keep this in here to remind myself that I still need to print those up, and that I can replace that and get three new months in there. This is my flying tab. So if you don't know, I'm a flight attendant for a mainline airline as my day job type thing. I worked as a school psychologist for 15 years and decided I was done with that career. I have a few YouTube videos about that. I was done with that career. I was ready to kind of move on. And when I was younger, I used to be a flight attendant for a major airline. And I ended up going back to work for that airline. And so this is just sort of where I keep some monthly spread pages with a loose estimate of my flying schedule. So my flying schedule actually changes a lot because we're always, trading trips, putting in for drops, moving our days around or things like that. But it is nice just to kind of have a broad monthly overview of what your schedule is presently looking like, but I change it all the time. And in this section is actually where I reuse some of the undated monthly spreads from those Kikki.K planners. And so this will be for January. This spread will be for February. And this spread will be for March when we get there. And so I will go ahead and date those, and I will add in my schedule. I have my January schedule, but I will go in and we'll date all this and then put my currently scheduled trips in there. And I just keep that clipped to the divider because I never need that front page. And so I'll just open directly up and we'll be on the January spread for that. So the next section I have is a finance tab. Now this is going to start looking a little bit differently. I haven't used this section at all. I have been keeping these budget at a glance pages in here, which as you can see, I have not been using. I do not think I'm going to put those back in here. And the reason why is I'm going to sort of reuse this section altogether. I'm not going to use it as a sort of budgeting section. I am going to use it. I'm going to put this envelope in here. So one of the projects I wanted to get done in my last 12-week period was I wanted to get better about basically like bookkeeping for book sales and then business expenses. And the way I was going to do that was by signing up for QuickBooks and getting more serious about, tracking receipts and really just sort of managing cash flow in general, not just like writing books and putting them out there and it all just being a little bit mystical because I'm not tracking it. Now, there's just a lot of different revenue streams coming in from a multitude of my books, kind of thing. And so it's a little bit unwieldy to try to track it on paper. And so that's why I wanted to use QuickBooks. But the other thing I want to do is get better about the receipt situation with regards to, if I'm buying something that actually I can write off as a business expense, and I end up with a paper receipt for whatever reason, I want to have a place to kind of just slip that right away, where it's its own thing until I can, at the end of every week, get to it and make sure that that is included in my accounting under QuickBooks. Now I was poking around in it last night and I was happy to see they have this feature where you can basically just like snap photos of receipts and things like that. It may end up that I don't need this because I'm able to just sort of do it all digitally. But for right now, as I'm just kind of learning how to use that system and get better at it, I want to be able to kind of have a place to save any and all of those paper receipts for bookkeeping purposes. So that's going to stay in there for now. The next tab we have is my reading tab. This is just sort of my personal reading tab. Now, I had been using one of these just list pages from Erin Condren to write the books down and kind of where I was in the process or where I was with regards to my reading list. But here we have another insert that I purchased from 8LOTUS, and this is actually a reading list log. So I'm just going to go ahead and put one of these in here for right now because obviously there's a room for plenty of titles on these. So I'll probably have those lists available for a very long time. But I was happy to kind of support 8LOTUS and then get another insert that's going to work. It's just a little bit prettier than the one I was using before. So I will add, I can't decide I think what I'll probably do, knowing me, is I will just add books as I am reading them, and then who the author is. And I don't know if I'll fill out the rating on here because I don't really want that to be public. And I don't ever rate books unless I can give them like a 5-star rating publicly. So otherwise I just kind of leave it blank. And that's, how I felt about it. It's just something I will share with my best in real life friends. But other than that, there's no need for me to talk about any of that publicly. But okay, so then my next section is my home section. And you may remember I had created a cleaning checklist sheet, which I sort of used it a little bit, but this was another insert that I was happy to see, which is much prettier and streamlined than what I created for myself. And this is also from 8LOTUS. So you can see, yes, I ordered quite a few things from them in the last few weeks. And so I think these are weekly, and they're 2-sided. So I'm just going to put 6 of these in here for the next 12-week period. And I think my plan is to, at the beginning, either at the end of the previous week or the beginning of the next week, sit down and really kind of write out what are my tasks for that week with regards to business, writing all of that, but then also just like house management. And these pages will get filled out at the beginning of each week with whatever it is I need to tackle or get taken care of or keep on top of. For me, I'm just not one of those people that thrives in environmental chaos. Like I really need the house to be pretty much sorted. Otherwise, it can be overwhelming and difficult to focus. So that's for sure. So I'm excited to start using those. And then we're getting pretty much to the last section, and this is my to buy. And this has been kind of handy when there is maybe larger or more expensive equipment that I need to or want to get, either for it's supporting this YouTube channel, or maybe it's like a birthday coming up and there's something that I want to get for a friend or someone in the family. I don't think I need. So here we have almost the last, there's one more after this. Second to last insert I got from 8LOTUS, and this is their wish list insert. And so you can see on here, there's the category, there's 3 sections on each, and the date that it's added, the item, you can mark what store it's at, the price, and whether or not you have purchased it or not. So I'm just going to put one of these in here for now. It just kind of reminds me, like if I, something comes up and I'm like, oh, right, I should get one of those, or, if it's tech stuff for the channel here, or if it's something I need for, I just recently purchased QuickBooks, that could have gone on here, anything like that. And just to remind me, like that's on the list of things that, you said you wanted to get, and you can go pick it up. At the end of this, I think, now before I had this at the front, and this is like this 4-pocket sleeve, and I had the page flags in it. I'm going to put this at the back just for right now. I don't know if I'll leave this back here, but the reason why is I had that pocket back here before, but I kind of need something a little sturdier at the back of the planner to sort of protect these back pages, because this guy is full. Oh, let's see if I can even get this closed without pinching my fingers. But having that at the back is just going to help protect that last page, which will probably just kind of get bent if I didn't have something a little sturdier back there. So I don't know if I'll keep this back here. As I was watching somebody else's, I think it was Dr. Ava Plans or whatever, and she had this cute little pocket at the back, and it was a little sturdier, and that something like that might be good as well. But I don't have anything like that right now. So there is that. Now the last insert that I purchased and we haven't put in yet are these inbox pages. And so this is just sort of like a description, next, calendar, projects, waiting, someday, maybe, reference. And I'm not really sure. I mean, I guess I could maybe put an inbox section right at the front of my planner for right now. I'm going to hold off on these only because I'm just not really sure where I would want to put them in right now. But I bought them. I was obviously envisioning using them for something. I'm just not entirely sure exactly what that was yet. So I'm going to hold off on doing that. Now, the next thing, I don't do a lot of decorating in my planners. I think we've talked about this in the past, but a couple things that I do, I want to talk about these. So I always put one of these sort of affirmation cards from Erin Condren in the front of my planner, and I pick them randomly. So, and it's funny because I feel like this has happened several times. I just choose one without looking. I don't have any kind of input in it. I spread them out. I pick one, and then I'm like, well, this is the one that I had for December, and it said, invest in the people who invest in you. And here's the funny thing is that when I picked it, I was kind of like, oh, that doesn't really resonate with me. And I almost thought about picking another one. But let me tell you, I'm never going to do that. And the reason why is literally by halfway through December, I was like, I know exactly why I pulled that card. And it was a very specific situation, which I will not share publicly, but it was just felt like a very clear message. And I was like, oh, okay, I get it. And it was just sort of like this lesson that I needed to hear. And I never would have picked this card, but it ended up being like exactly what I needed to hear halfway through December. And so I think I look at this whole process. I'm going to keep that one aside while I pick a new card for January. But I just thought that was really interesting. And so now I'm just going to I may not always know what the message is that particular affirmation, why it's coming to me or what it means. But I tell you every single month, by the time I get to the end of the month, I'm like, oh, okay, that's I get it. Like that's why that was. Okay. So I'm just going to kind of spread these out. I'm going to pick my new affirmation card for January, and I feel like it's like it's here, this one, whatever this one is. So we'll put that there. We'll put the rest of these away. I'll put this one back in here. Let's see what the Erin Condren affirmation card message is for me for January. Okay. So this one says, if you get tired, learn to rest, not quit. I feel like I maybe already know what this one is. I think that's a good one. That's probably a good one for anybody. But I know sometimes I think it's interesting, especially when I'm starting to lay out all these like grand plans that I have for these first 12 weeks. And I guess I am maybe a little bit afraid that I might get a little burned out. Now, these are some little cards that came for free with my Infinite Lotus order. A little thank you card, which is nice. And I'm actually this one step at a time. Heck yeah, that's going in here. We're going to put him in here. Let's see, what do I want to attach him with? I have these little clips. Maybe this one. Figure out a place for him to go. It is one step at a time. And I know I can get like way ahead of myself and sort of frazzled at times, but that's in there. And a little monthly card, a little January monthly card, and he can go in here too. Yeah, I don't like a ton of things in my planner because I travel so much, and it really actually can just be hard to have a bunch of stuff in here because this is in and out of my tote bag for traveling so much, and can just be a mess. I'm trying to decide if I want any of these. I kind of like that, like just as a front page. I had it kind of further back in my planner before. The problem is I don't even know how I'm going to get it in here because this planner is so full. I might have to do this and add him this way. Just kind of remind me what my priorities are for these first 12 weeks. And I mean, honestly, a lot of it is I'm really prioritizing the writing and getting the words done on book 11 and trying to get as much of that draft accomplished in these first 12 weeks as I can. Okay, so I think that's basically it. A couple little things I still need to add in here. A couple things I still need to fill out and finish up. But other than that, we have my Reset A5 planner for the next 12 weeks. I'm so glad I chose this one. He feels really nice, and I'm excited to use him because I haven't. Oh, there's a little ink stain. I'll have to see if I can get that off. I'm excited to use him because I haven't used this one before. So that'll be good. Thank you. I know this was like a really long video. I actually, now that this is all set up, I'm also going to be sharing a 2025 planner lineup because as comprehensive as this one is, you're going to laugh. I actually have decided that I need to supplement with a couple more different planners for various reasons. And so we're going to talk about that in a different video. This is way too long already, but you'll see this guy in there. He'll be in there as part of the stack. And I will be back next time with my complete planner lineup for 2025. And I'll share with you some things that will be changing because obviously I'll be moving into multiple planners. But this one is pretty much ready to go. I'm excited to get started with it. And I hope that your plans for 2025 are coming together. If you also do planning videos and you've done a reset or you have a planner stack or something like that, feel free to let me know about it in the comments below. I love watching planner videos. I would be happy to come by, check out your channel. If you haven't already subscribed here, I hope you will consider liking this video and subscribing so you can see my future content with regards to planning, but also about my books and my writing and that sort of thing. If you don't already know it, my latest book, The Last Nanny, is now available. The ebook is up on Amazon. It's not currently wide, meaning it's not on like Nook or Kobo or Apple Books or anything like that. I have it in the Kindle Unlimited program. So if you have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, you can get my book, The Last Nanny, or you can purchase it as well. I think it's currently listed at $4.99 if you're not an Amazon Kindle Unlimited subscriber. So the trade paperback for that will be available in the next week or so. And I will probably also put out a hardback for that as well. Just I have a few family members and friends that like to get my books in hardback as just kind of collector's items and whatnot. So but thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this very long planner video, and I will see you next time in my 2025 planner stack video. Have a great day, and thanks, guys.